Hi guys, welcome to the Talking News. Please like and subscribe right now so you don't forget. Hit that notification bell as well if you'd like to get notifications of new uploads, if you like watching these videos. So guys, 48 Hours just had a special Saturday at 10 p.m. and they were going over the Kelsey Berreth case. So Kelsey Berreth is the young beautiful pilot that is from Lake Moses area. Grew up there in a small town. She met Patrick FRAZEE and they had a child together and disappeared Thanksgiving Day, November 22nd. So Thanksgiving Day, Kelsey Berreth had planned to go to Safeway, get some of Patrick FRAZEE's favorite items so that she can make him a sweet potato casserole. But the thing is, when she left the Safeway, nobody ever seen her again. 10 days after she disappeared is when her mother started getting really worried about her, and she called the Woodland Park police to go do a welfare check on her, and they did. Initially, the first time that they went there, they kind of scoured over the house kind of quickly. They didn't find anything, so they left. It wasn't until Cheryl Berreth, which is Kelsey Berreth's mother, and her brother come down to her townhouse, Kelsey Berreth's townhouse. They stayed there for a period of time, and they were shocked what they found inside that townhome. I love her mother. Let me tell you that she did the same exact thing I would have done, and probably most of us would have done. We weren't going to give up on our kids. So as they go through the townhome, according to 48 Hours, they're saying that the brother, not the mother, actually found residue on the side of the toilet bowl, and then they also found some in the sink. Guys, if you want more details of what they found, please refer to my older videos. But according to what 48 Hours pulled up, is that residue they found in the sink, they tested DNA, and it turned out that there was a male and a female's DNA there. They knew that it was Kelsey Berreth's DNA, but the male DNA was not Patrick FRAZEE's. That is curious for what I will talk about later. You know, when we got this evidence, this really kind of confirmed, well, not actually confirmed, but confirmed my idea of what I've been saying about Krystal Kenny. We'll talk about that later, but they're saying it's not Patrick FRAZEE, and so this raises a lot of questions. We don't know if they know exactly whose it is. Now, we know Patrick FRAZEE is behind bars and right now charged with the murder of Kelsey Berreth. But why is he behind bars? Because according to 48 Hours, the physical evidence was very weak. Well, we know that Krystal Kenny, after she had 3 failed attempts at trying to take Kelsey Berreth's life, this 32-year-old rodeo queen from a very small town in Gooding, Idaho, made a plea deal with police. And a lot of people are shocked at this plea deal because they think it's just too little. But what we did find out on 48 Hours also is Krystal Kenny, if things don't go right in court, there's a chance, which I kind of speculated on because I didn't understand law very well. Depending on Patrick FRAZEE, if he was to come forward and point his finger back at her, could have that change. And we found out tonight that that is the case. There's so much in this case, I don't even know where to start, or I don't. So I might have to jump around, guys. I apologize because there's just so much information. So 48 Hours did talk with Michelle Stein. And as you can see, she was well, you know, primped up, looking pretty, trying to look pretty, and for this camera. And you can tell she was not doing this for the right reasons. Although you could tell she was doing it for several other reasons. Number one, Michelle Stein was defending Krystal. Let's call her KK. Everything. I mean, she was saying, oh, she was in fear for her life. The first interview, she did not mention that KK was hysterical and or anything. She kind of was like, kind of sneaky about it, say, well, forget about it, don't worry about it. When Michelle Stein offered to let her talk to attorneys, which didn't even make sense. Now, a lot of people, guys, this is for people who's kept up with the case, okay, because you're probably not going to know what I'm talking about. Michelle Stein is the best friend of KK, and she mentions in the 48 Hours that after the interviewer asked her this question, she says, why didn't you call the police or somebody? You could, you know, a lot of people think that you could have prevented this. And you could tell that she was getting very fidgety because she, you know, hit her up a couple of times. I was really proud of her for doing that. Michelle Stein gets fidgety and she says, you know, it's hard to be in those shoes because if you don't know names, what am I going to do? Just call the police and say, hey, I don't know who these people are. I don't have their names. And they're threatening to kill somebody, basically. I don't have it word for word right now. And it's not too long afterwards, after they talk a little while, the interview, I wish I knew her name. I forgot to write her name down. She did brilliant. She says, you know, you could have done something. But that doesn't matter because if you listen to her talk later on in the interview, she knows Patrick FRAZEE's everything, background. Anyways, she gives it away pretty much that she most likely did know his name. But this is the problem. Michelle Stein also lies, and she's been caught lying. She lies to her family, just like Krystal, KK lies to her husband. They kind of had this code thing going on. So she's unreliable as well. So people are saying, well, you mean to tell me that KK talked to you about this, but you don't know anything? Now, I want to refresh you guys. When KK talked to her about this, KK told her, said, don't worry about anything, you know, just forget I ever told you anything. So, and, you know, the worst thing about that interview with Michelle Stein, Michelle is a big fat liar. The interviewer asked her, like I mentioned, you know, why didn't you do something? Michelle, you can tell she's a witch. And she's a liar. But she says, I was trusting that she would do the right thing. Not only that, she says another thing that kind of throws a red flag. And she tells the reporter that Patrick FRAZEE told KK that he wanted her to kill or get rid of the baby mama. And I can't say for sure, guys, but I do know for a fact that Patrick FRAZEE wasn't great with technology, and I don't think he was big on that modern slang, and I don't think that's something he would have said. I really don't think that that's a term he would use, baby mama. So as I mentioned, guys, this is in a short distance from Gooding, Idaho, if I can talk. I'm tired. to Woodland Park, Colorado. It is nearly 800 miles, and that is 12 hours. And this woman would drive, if you added a round trip, that is 24 hours to meet up with Patrick FRAZEE, according to the affidavit. Patrick FRAZEE asked KK if she would help him get rid of Kelsey Berreth. KK actually drives from Gooding, Idaho to Woodland Park, meets with Patrick FRAZEE just to talk about the first plan. And that first plan was poisoning Kelsey Berreth's favorite coffee. And KK said that she could put Ambien and other things that she could get from work into that coffee pretty much and help do that job. This does sound like to me, and I could be wrong, that this is more of what a female would do if they were to try to hurt somebody. But KK is putting that blame completely on Patrick FRAZEE, and I think you're going to see that this was not his idea. So her exact words, KK, was, "I'll get the drugs." She drives 12 hours back to Woodland Park, drives to Starbucks, buys Kelsey Berreth's favorite coffee, then goes back to the townhome where she waits in the alley for her to get there. She takes the coffee, knocks on Kelsey Berreth's door. Kelsey Berreth opens the door. And what we're hearing on 48 Hours, and of course we've heard a little bit about this already, she's posing as a neighbor who is appreciative of her, Kelsey Berreth, helping her with her dog, because her dog supposedly got loose, if I can talk, my gosh. And we've talked about this part before. Kelsey Berreth takes the coffee, but what does she do with that coffee? Because according to KK, she didn't have the guts to put the medicine in there or the drugs. But we don't know that, because if you had somebody bring you a coffee just out of the blue, and don't forget, Kelsey Berreth, what we're hearing was kind of suspicious, according to Kelsey Berreth's friend, that there might be another woman that Patrick FRAZEE is talking with. Anyways, what would you do with that coffee? Are you going to drink that coffee? Nobody in their right mind most likely is not going to drink the coffee. I'm not saying if you chose to drink the coffee that you're not in your right mind. Don't take me wrong, but you know what I mean. So really, we don't know if that's true, because we know she's a liar. So we're not going to go over the major details on these other two. So we know that there's a second attempt. She drives to Woodland Park, Colorado, right? Another 12 hours where she gets a metal pipe and again chickens out. The third time, KK drives to the townhome with a bat, and again she says she chickens out. Well, this makes sense to me, because women this is not really something a woman would be good at. But she's trying to make it look like Patrick FRAZEE was really mad with her. But as of right now, we have no evidence. We see a lot of text messaging, and none of that has come out. So according to KK, she tells police, after lying to them several times, that she ended up getting a text or a phone call. I'm sorry, I can't remember, was it a text or a phone call on that one? Darn it. Sorry, but either way, Patrick FRAZEE tells her that she needs to get here now because she has a mess to clean up. Now, this is her fourth time She has 4 chances and even more before this when she talks to her friend Michelle, and then the attorneys offer to help her. But she chooses not to do the right thing. Instead, she gets a kill kit together, a professional one at that, and drives back down to Woodland Park, Colorado, where she goes to Patrick FRAZEE's, picks up the keys to the townhome, then goes back to Kelsey Berreth's townhome, opens the door, where she finds a horrific scene. She cleans that mess up, which is pretty horrendous because it's on toys. It's in places it's not supposed to be. And as well, gathers up everything that is lying around that she thinks is part of the scene. Puts it in the bags and takes it out of the house. After she gets through cleaning up this, what she called a horrific scene, she goes to Sonic to eat. I forgot to mention that she got that phone call from Patrick around 4:30 on Thanksgiving Day and didn't come down until 2 days later. So it's 2 days later that she's cleaning up that mess and is now eating at Sonic. It takes her 3 to 4 hours to clean up that mess, is what we're seeing. So according to the affidavits and stuff, they were concerned, Patrick FRAZEE was concerned with a tooth that might have been left behind. So KK returns to the townhome where she ends up throwing away some toys and I forget what else it was, I'm sorry. And she loaded that stuff into her car and got rid of it somehow. We don't know how. Now, KK tells the police after she lied to him how Patrick FRAZEE done it. And this is another clue to me that she was more involved. And according to her, he blindfolded Kelsey Berreth with a sweater, then went to swinging, and the baby was in the next room. So how did he do this? Well, he convinced Kelsey Berreth that they wanted to play a candle smelling game. Now, I doubt a guy would come up with that idea. I'm going to stick to that. I really think this is her idea, and I'm hoping we find out that is probably true. But right now, that's speculation. So, also, when police talk to KK, they're telling us that once they talked to her, she told them that she did dispose of Kelsey Berreth's keys, phone, and a gun. And according to police, Patrick FRAZEE, when he was speaking to police before they found out this information, and he was just a suspect, he said he handed Kelsey Berreth back those exact things, minus the phone. Now, according to KK, she led police through every step that they made. She even tells police and leads them to a few spots where she says she left residue that was in the townhome of Kelsey Berreth, that she left there on purpose for them to find. This is where the sync comes back in. So we know that they found a male's DNA and a female's DNA, and we also know that that male DNA is not belonging to Patrick FRAZEE. I'm wondering if that is one of the spots that KK leads them to, because I really don't believe that she left anything on purpose to help police, but I do believe she left something on purpose to mislead police. So I am very, very curious to know whose DNA that was they found in the sink. Now, Kelsey Berreth had three friends on 48 Hours who were speaking out for her, and they did an excellent job doing so. They told us about her character. She was very spiritual. She was very nice and giving, and she didn't like drama. She was also a great pilot. She was a tomboy. She was never really girly. She grew up in the country. They tell us that she really liked Patrick Frazee and that she met him online, a dating site. But we really never hear what in the world persuaded her to move to Woodland Park, because once she moves there to be closer to him, she gets pregnant with her daughter. What we're hearing, we don't know for sure, this is what they're telling us, is Patrick Frazee didn't come over to her townhome and spend time with her. Ever. Hardly ever. If ever. So, very confusing. This is his fiance, but there's this, big distance between these two, and they're not really together. Maybe it's because of her, her religious background, perhaps. Regardless, her friends really did a great job showing us that she also didn't have these rehab issues with alcohol and drugs, that this was a stress-related rehab. We also know that she would have never left and done these things that Patrick Frazee says she done. We do get hints from her best friend that they were having, issues, but they didn't really say what. One of her friends said, they'll be able to see Kelsey basically through her daughter. It seems like they're staying in touch with Kelsey's mom. And one of them said that as they watch the daughter grow up, they see the feisty or anything like that. That would be traits of Kelsey Berreth. And they would remind her that, that's part of your mom. Now, Krystal Lee Kenny's friends, I can't remember her name, but the older lady, she has those really super blue eyes. I enjoyed watching the reporter interview her, because she basically, she tells her, you're still taking up for Krystal, basically, but she's not one you should be taking up for. But she claims that they're, both friends said, no, we're not really doing that. But they are. But their question is, they wonder why, now that they realize they've seen Krystal Kenny talk. They're thinking, why? They're wondering, why did she do these things? And I guess they're in denial. That's excluding Michelle Stein, guys. I am so tired. I'm sorry. I really want to get this done. Patrick Frazee had friends as well talking, which was Clint Klein, which he used to help Patrick Frazee take care of the wild donkeys in the area. He said in an interview that they think, there's a possibility they had the wrong person behind bars. I can tell you, after watching his friends and Krystal's friends, I cannot believe that they would lie for their friends like that. I mean, it just seems to me that's what it is right now. But they're all innocent until proven guilty. The court will start October 28th, so I don't forget to mention that. And I know I am excited about I want to see justice. I hope it does not go and derail, because that's going to be devastating to me. So after reviewing that 48 hours, they did have a few things that were new. And I probably missed some things tonight because I'm so absolutely tired. We did cover some important subjects though. And I really still feel that KK had a much larger role in this case than she's portraying. And I mentioned it a long time ago. I really knew Patrick Frazee is not a type of person that will go down without a fight. And if he knows he's going down, he's going to take her with him. But I think what it is he's shocked that she started talking. I think they had a plan, and it was more extravagant than we realized. I think she left that stuff behind on purpose for other reasons. If she did that. I mean, if she even did that. I really don't see her leaving anything behind unless it was to benefit them and getting away with it. That's speculation, and I say this because it just doesn't make sense. Anyways, guys, I want to really wish Kelsey Berreth's family blessings and justice. My God, bring them people justice. I want to apologize that I'm so tired that I can no longer think to finish. Well, I'm at my time limit anyways because I do this on the phone, but I'm going to try to actually retake some new notes and go over it once more. All right, guys, love you so much. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.